Actress Carole Lumbard was best known for her screwball comedies of the 30s like My Man Godfrey. She was also married to movie star Clark Gable, which made them one of the original Hollywood power couples. As America entered into World War II, Carole volunteered tirelessly to raise attention and support for the U.S. military. In the early morning of January 16, 1942, Carole and her mother boarded a TWA DC heading home to California. Originally, they were going to take a train, but decided they wanted to fly for a speedier journey. As a precaution against the possibility of enemy Japanese aircraft coming into American airspace from the Pacific, safety beacons normally used to direct night flights had been turned off, leaving the pilot and crew of the TWA flight without visual warnings of the mountains. The plane crashed into Mount Potosi, about 50 miles southwest of Las Vegas, killing all 22 people on board instantly. Grady Nut was a Southern Baptist minister, television personality, humorist, and author. He once said, "Laughter is the hand of God on the shoulder of a troubled world." On November 23, 1982, the 48-year-old Prime Minister of Comedy boarded a plane destined for Louisville, Kentucky. Shortly after takeoff, the plane crashed, killing Grady, the pilot, and the co-pilot. Although the cause was never definitively determined, bad weather was absolutely a contributing factor. Otis Redding was a singer and songwriter best known for his #1 hit, Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. At the height of Otis's fame, it's said that he outsold both Sinatra and Dean Martin combined. On December 10, 1967, Otis, his assistant, and several band members boarded Otis's twin-engine plane heading to perform in Madison, Wisconsin. The plane didn't make it, crashing just 4 miles short of the Madison Airport in Lake Monona, Wisconsin. After searching the lake floor, they found Otis still strapped in his seat. The cause of the crash has never been determined. Incidentally, Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay was released weeks after Redding's death, making it the first posthumous #1 single in U.S. history. John F. Kennedy Jr. was an attorney, a publisher, a socialite, and the son of President John F. Kennedy and his wife Jackie. Since childhood, John always dreamed of becoming a pilot. In April of 1998, he earned his pilot's license. On July 16, 1999, he was piloting his single-engine plane, which he'd purchased only a few months earlier, from Fairfield, New Jersey. On board was his wife Carolyn and her sister Lauren Bissett. They were to attend a Kennedy family wedding in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. A few hours after they took off, the plane was reported missing. After an extensive search, the U.S. Coast Guard stated that all 3 bodies were found, still strapped to their seats at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The probable cause of death was determined to be the failure to maintain control of the airplane as a result of spatial disorientation while descending over the ocean at night. Basically, Kennedy could not tell the sky from the ocean because it was so dark. They plummeted straight to the ocean, probably not even realizing what was happening. Ricky Nelson was an actor and a musician who starred with his real-life family in the 50s television program The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. As a teen and an adult, his recording career took off. His hits included Poor Little Fool and Garden Party. On New Year's Eve 1985, Ricky and his band boarded the 14-seat 1944 DC-3 he'd recently purchased. The plane had been troubled with several mechanical problems. They were heading towards Dallas, Texas to perform at a New Year's Eve celebration. During the flight, the cabin began to fill with smoke. Pilots attempted to make an emergency landing in a wooded area near DeKalb, Texas. Unfortunately, that landing caused the plane to explode on impact. The pilot and co-pilot suffered burns but survived, while all other passengers died. Jenny Rivera was an American songwriter and actress and a superstar in the Mexican music genre. She received 4 Latin Grammy nominations as well as a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. After performing at Monterrey Arena in Mexico, she and 4 of her staff and 2 pilots left the Monterrey airport in a Learjet at around 3:20 a.m., bound for Toluca, Mexico, for an appearance on a television program. About 15 minutes into the flight, contact with the jet was lost. Everyone on board was killed. The wreckage was found in a mountainous region in northern Mexico, but the flight recorder was destroyed, and the cockpit voice recorder was never recovered. Authorities stated the probable cause as loss of control for undetermined reasons. John Denver was a singer and a songwriter and a movie star. He was one of the best-selling country artists of the 1970s. His hits included Rocky Mountain High, Sunshine on My Shoulders, and Take Me Home, Country Roads. John also had a love of flying. In 1997, he bought a 2-seater experimental aircraft that was made from a kit. On October 12, 1997, John took the plane out for what he said would be about an hour to practice flying the new plane. He would never make it back. He plunged into the Pacific Ocean near Pacific Grove, California. The cause was determined to be human error. There were 2 fuel tanks on board, and John was unable to switch the lever, engaging one from the other in time. Stevie Ray Vaughan is easily one of the most influential guitarists in blues music. Rolling Stone magazine ranked him number 7 of the 100 greatest guitar players of all time, and he's a member of the Blues Hall of Fame. On August 27, 1990, at approximately 1 a.m., Stevie Ray Vaughan and 3 of his entourage boarded a helicopter after a concert at the Alpine Valley Music Theater near East Troy, Wisconsin, heading to Chicago. Shortly after takeoff in foggy conditions, they crashed into a nearby hill, killing all the passengers and the pilot. There were no traces of drugs or alcohol in the systems of anyone on board. The cause was pilot error. Michael Todd was an American theater and film producer who invented a high-resolution widescreen format of filming that rivaled Cinerama. He called it Todd A.O. In 1957, his film Around the World in 80 Days, featuring this new format, won the Best Picture Academy Award. Todd was also the 3rd husband of Elizabeth Taylor. They had 1 child together, a daughter named Elizabeth Frances, who would never know her father because he died in a plane crash shortly after her birth. Todd was on board his private twin-engine Lockheed plane he named the Liz when it crashed near Grant, New Mexico. Elizabeth had wanted to go with him on the flight, but she had a cold and Todd refused to let her. In his autobiography, Eddie Fisher, who was one of Todd's best friends, said that the only items recovered from the crash were Todd's wedding ring and a pair of cufflinks that Eddie Fisher had given him. In June of 1977, thieves broke into Todd's grave and ransacked his casket, hoping to steal a diamond ring that had been rumored to have been laced there by Elizabeth Taylor. Todd's remains were recovered and reburied in an unidentified location.
You heard me.